Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing great. And if you want to know like what is the interview process at Walmart Labs, or if you want to know like what kind of interview questions that are being asked at Walmart Labs, then this video is for you. So in this video, I'll be sharing you the interview questions and interview process that I have underwent at Walmart Labs. So before getting into the interview process, I would like to discuss this was how I got shortlisted for the interview. So to be honest, this was a referral drive. So one of my friend referred me, and I thought the interview, as it was a referral drive, the interview process would be a bit easy for me. But believe me, this was one of the lengthiest interview experience that I have ever faced. There were approximately like two Webex or telephonic, whatever you say, two rounds, and there were five telephonic discussions. So I'll share you like what all things happened. So coming to the interview process, so as I already mentioned, there were two telephonic or Webex, mostly the Webex discussion only. I was given a link and I was asked to join the Webex links, and there were five. After clearing the two Webex interview rounds, they called me to Bangalore for five. There were five face-to-face discussion rounds. To be honest, it took complete one day. It was like the round was one after another. Like I don't like how to express, but one of the most interesting interview experiences that I have ever had. So please watch the video completely, like what all type of questions they are asking in the interview process. So before I get into the interview questions, I would like to talk about ourselves, like who are we and what we do. So we are basically a bunch of software engineers who are attending the interviews with different MNCs and sharing our interview experiences. So you can visit our channel, and we have already shared so many MNCs interview experiences and interview questions. So if you haven't subscribed us, you can subscribe us as well. So these are the list of MNCs that we have already shared, and there are n number of interview experiences that are in the queue. So if you haven't subscribed, you please do subscribe. So I would like to discuss about the Webex round interview questions here. So I thought mostly it will be of oral interview, but believe me, like the type of questions they have asked me here really were very interesting, and to be honest, I was not prepared for that kind of interview, thinking it was a referral interview. So first question was, to be honest, they were having a set of questions to ask for every candidate, because they were directly pinging me in the Webex chat itself, like what was the question. So the coming to the first question was, they asked me to design a stack such that it provide push, pop, and min. Use only stack, not any other data structure. So this was the first question. So, and one benefit what they have allowed is like I can use my Eclipse while answering this question. So I was bit prepared for this type of question, because I have already encountered this question in different interviews. So I was able to explain him in detail, like what was his need, and after that I have explained him in detail like what how it works. So this was about the first question. Then coming to the next question, he pinged was, find one triplet such that indexes are in increasing order so as values at index. So even to be honest, at the first go I couldn't understand the question perfectly. Then later on he, what I can say, he pinged me sample input and outputs. Then I understood like what actually the need was. So I was able to code this as well. So even this I have coded using Eclipse only. So basically all the questions in Webex rounds, I have coding questions I have used Eclipse. They asked me I can use any ID. So as Eclipse was readily available, I have used that. So next question was a bit easier for me. Calculate the power of x. So the question was this: power of x and n. I have to design one method which takes two parameters and I have to calculate. And here when I was calculating, I need to check all the conditions as well. They have given me few conditions, like what if the two values are 0, or one is infinity, one is 0, like few combinations and permutation and combination inputs were given to me. So my code has to pass all those validations as well. So the next question here was find pivot in sorted array sorted rotated array. So this was a question. To be honest, even this I couldn't understand like what is pivot. Then the interviewer explained me so what is this, and like pinging some sample examples, so I was able to code for this as well. So while coding, they were looking at my coding standards as well, like how I am defining a method name and what kind of like spacing formatting I am using, and all those things, like when I am declaring local variables, what is the naming convention I am giving to them, and all such things were given importance. So the next question was design an app for railway ticket booking. So this one question itself took approximately 45 minutes. We had a discussion on this. Like they were asking me to this was the first of its own kind. Like they were asking me to draw the diagrams, opening the paint and draw the diagrams, like which layer is connected with which and which module is kind of getting connected to what, like entire a railway IRCTC website kind of thing they were asking me to implement. And after the implementing this thing, they were asking me like there should be a facility that if I want to integrate, like if someone wants to book food, even that needs to be integrated without much changes, and all such things were given in the challenge. So luckily I was able to give the perfect solution for them. And one of the biggest advantage in this entire interview process is that whatever coding questions were given to me, I was able to provide the answer 100% to them. So that played a vital role in my selection here. So these were the questions that were asked to me in my webex round. And coming to the face to face interview discussions, so after clearing the interview webex interview, they called me to Bangalore. So as they were providing me the ticket money, I went, or else I wouldn't have gone to Bangalore for interview, to just for interview. So they booked the flight tickets to and fro. So I went, and it was a complete 1 day interview process there, because 5 rounds of interview was conducted. But I don't know whether this is the normal process, or especially for me they have conducted like that. So coming to the first question, explain project detail. Project, like detailed project discussion happened, like in depth discussion of project, like oh, I was working and what was my contribution on this. And to be honest, I have mentioned the note as well. This interview question in all the 5 rounds I have encountered, like what is your, explain your project architecture and what are your roles and responsibility, how you are contributing to your team, and what all technologies you have used, why so like certain technologies were used, why not some other technologies were used, what all the versions you have used of those technology, respective technologies. And it was like a in detailed discussion, is it open to integrate with some other like other modules as well. So this kind of questions were asked me in this like when I was discussing about my projects. So not only the current project, they have right from my first project, they have asked me the questions like what was my role in that project, what on what all technologies I have worked in that project. So these were the kind of questions they have asked me. So the next question was a bit easier for me. Like they asked me to explain about the immutable class in Java and what is its significance. So I was very well prepared for this question, like what is immutable class and what is the importance of immutable class in Java. So I have explained him the same, and he asked me to write a sample code to create his immutable class. So even that I was able to write it easily. The next question was on Java memory model changes in Java 8 metaspace concept and what are its benefit. This was the question. So to be honest, I was not well prepared on this. I was not much aware of on like what all changes went on JVM side in Java 8. So I know, like I know I have answered, like I know few changes where went on, but in detail I have not gone through those. So I was not completely able to answer the question here. Next question was on design patterns. So the question was like what all design patterns I have used or what all design patterns I know. So I have given a list of design patterns that I know, and the design patterns which I have worked extensively, like for example like factory pattern, the abstract factory pattern, singleton pattern, prototype pattern, builder pattern, adapter pattern, facade or facade pattern, observer pattern. So I have explained him detail like all the design patterns as well. So after listening for 3 or 4 design patterns, he said okay, uh, like he was okay. He know like I have worked on those design patterns, so he didn't went on to listen for all the design pattern answers. So in the next question is, if multiple servers are in picture, how to send request to handle by multiple server thread pool. So to be honest, I couldn't get the question itself, what was the ask of the question. So I said him the same, like I am not able to get your complete question, and if it is about load balancing then I can explain. So he said, okay, fine. So I have explained him about the load balancing, but the actual question was this. Then there was one more coding question, like he asked me to read a paragraph from a file and print all the palindromes in the paragraph. So here also he handed over his laptop. So I have, it was a bit easy for me while using Eclipse, or yeah, I have used Eclipse and write the code. So even this I have given the 100% answer here. So the next question was on threads, like there are 5 threads that perform the same task. Like main thread will start all the threads, find out which thread gives the fastest result. So I have answered it like, if we are setting up the priorities, so we can definitely say like which thread will complete the task first. But if you are not giving the setting the priority, like, so in the which order the threads start, the same order the threads will end up. To be honest, I was not aware of this answer and haven't googled it as well. If you know the answer, you feel free to comment it in the comment section. So next was again a like basically a design thing. So he asked me to design a system where you can subscribe to daily need things like milk packets or eggs. So those kind of things he like we need. I He asked me to design a system where I can subscribe to daily essentials like milk or newspaper or eggs, and it should have the features of canceling at any time, and it should have the feature like, if I increase the quantity of the things, like if I need 2 milk packets, I should have that on specific days, like that. So the next question was again a programmatic question. So the question was a typical question, to be honest. Write a program to find the number in a sorted array. Constraint was, you don't know the size of the array and you should not try with finding the array size. So there was an array, he will give one more number as an input. I need to find the index of that array there, but the constant word, I should not use the array size. So here I have used the try catch and the exception, like array index out of bound exception, and I have used this one. I have used that technique to find the answer. So he was bit convinced there as well. Then there was a deep discussion on how hash code and equals method works. So he has asked me to write the code as well for overriding hash code and equals method here. So I was able to write for this as well. So with this, these were the questions that were asked me, which I in the Walmart labs interview process. I hope you liked it. And apart from this, there were questions on Spring Boot, Hibernate and MyBatis as well. As I find in many of our interviews, we have already shared different interview questions related to Spring Boot, Hibernate, and MyBatis. So I refrained from sharing the like the interview questions on these frameworks. And if you want, you can comment in the comment section. I can provide the questions as well. So this was about the interview questions and interview processes legato at Walmart. So coming to the experience level, like it was about for the experience level of the interview was 6 years, like actually it's about 6.2, and location was Bangalore, and the package that was offered me was 18 lakhs per annum. So this was about the about myself, like about the need of the interview. So if you like this video, you can feel free to subscribe, share, or like, comment by provide the feedback by commenting in the comment section. So this was about the interview process and interview questions at Walmart labs. I hope you people liked it by watching it. With this, I'll stop the recording as well.